What's going on, guys? Decoration Dude here, and today I have another pretty cool video of one of Zach's animatronics. This is on the Gemmy life-size Pinhead, and this one has a pretty interesting story behind it because, as you may know, back in like October, I was releasing a lot of videos on some licensed Gemmy life sizes. Like I did a video on the H2O Michael Myers. I did one on Hannibal Lecter, and I also got another ghost face out of that. And there's still one more I have yet to make a video on. I just need to do some repairs to it before I make a video. But this Pinhead actually came from the same people that I got all that from. And like I said, and I think I mentioned it in the Hannibal Lecter video, I mentioned that they did have a Pinhead and I did not buy it because they wanted an outrageous amount for it. They wanted like what was it, Zach? Like
1500.
Yeah, they wanted like $1,500 for this, and I don't remember how much I paid for all the other ones, but it was, I got all the other animatronics for like a good amount cheaper than what they wanted for this. And when I originally went with them to go get the other ones, I tried explaining to them like, you're not gonna sell this Pinhead, that's not worth that much. And I mean, I was being polite about it, so I wasn't gonna like, be rude, and because they were giving me a good deal, and there was a lot of people after these things, including Zach, but he did end up getting this one still, and I'm glad that it did go to him because it's in a good home now. But
I did not pay that price though.
yeah,
I definitely finagled a way cheaper price out of that.
yeah, I mean, you'd have to be crazy to pay $1,500 for this, but
unless you live in on an island and there's no more Pinheads left.
Yeah, so I mean, the rest of the story kind of goes like, I got all those animatronics. I was making some posts on them, showing what I got, and Zach left a comment on one of them, and just kind of we started hitting it off from there, and we found out that we actually live it's probably less than 10 minutes, maybe about 10 minutes from each other, which is crazy to know that there's another collector that lives that close that is into these Jimmys and everything like that, and just Halloween in general. And so after we met, he knew of this Pinhead, and he was kind of talking to the person, and somehow, some way, he convinced this guy to go way down on the price, and we drove out there again and
Yeah, it was a
picked him
3-hour
up.
drive.
Yeah, so I made that trip twice, but I think the main part of the reason that we were able to convince him to go a lot lower on the price is because he knew me from a previous transaction, so I guess he kind of felt more comfortable with selling it to us, I guess. And he knew we were collectors because when I was up there before, I was telling him all types of stuff about it, and I mean, they did not know anything about these guys. It was actually his wife's. Well, the guy who sold it to us, he was selling them for a friend. So we went to the friend's house, but they're actually the friend's wife, and she owned like a doctor's office, and they were used at a doctor's office. So they knew nothing about these. They actually thought they had like a 2010 Jason, or it might have been the 2011 model. Yeah, it was a 2011 model. They thought that was actually Leatherface. They thought it was like the least valuable one. I'm like, no, if it was Leatherface, it would be the most valuable. But I mean, this prop is really cool, and it's kind of what led to me and Zachary meeting, and it did have some issues. I'll let Zach kind of explain what we had to do to that, but it's here now, and we got it for a lot less than it was listed for, so that is a good thing. And Zach, you can go ahead and explain all the details about the repairs and everything.
Whenever we saw this guy in person, the mouth didn't move, and the eyes were just a little slow. And if you don't know anything about Pinhead, he is an electrically, he's like one of the most faulty animatronics there are. The second a gear splits on him, he will fry. And kind of miraculously, he ended up not being fried after we did a repair with him.
And
Yeah,
they had that 4-volt adapter
yeah.
with them too. That's
It,
what they were using to test them
yeah.
with.
That's the main thing that saved it. There was a 4-volt adapter in there that probably dropped the voltage low enough that it didn't cause any harm to the board, which is honestly like extremely lucky because all of them didn't they all have their right adapters besides like Michael?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and we got done with the drive and then immediately cut the mask and went in there and did the repair. And his mask on the back actually has a slit in it from the factory. Um, Honestly, whenever we got done and picked him up, we took a couple of pictures that you know or still haven't been posted yet, but this was definitely an interesting process. Definitely glad to have him in my collection.
And you may notice that this isn't a new setting. This is actually Zach's collection room, and this is the Pinhead corner. And this is kind of like a sneak peek, I guess, at the room. We do plan on making more videos on this room eventually. You guys might get a sneak peek at it very soon, but as for like a full tour of the room, it'll come eventually, but it's not completely done yet. But I mean, this Pinhead corner right here looks very good. He's got the chains coming down and the movie poster in the background, and there's some smaller pictures up here.
Yeah, like some common knowledge about him. Sold in 2010 as Spirit in the Horrorplex. Most locations had him on the left, and besides him being faulty, there's out of all the horror characters, he's not like one that has like some crazy history behind him, like a character like Leatherface. But like most of the prototype stuff on him never really changed from him being produced. You can go on the Spirit Halloween wiki and see original sculpting pictures of him if you want, of whenever they originally were making this guy. But besides that, I mean, honestly, all of the budget for this guy definitely went to the cosmetics of him.
Do you want to talk about the costume a little bit? Because
Yeah,
it's definitely, not your typical costume.
yeah. Let me put a light on him to shine him up a little bit. The only thing that kind of sucks on him is definitely the lament configuration or the puzzle box right here. It looks like there's just decals on it. His hands aren't live casted, but besides that, if you look through, you can see all the muscle fibers from his skin being peeled back, all of the detailing throughout his whole entire costume. If you look down here, you can see all the stitching from his like quote unquote leather. His belly button is supposed to have like a pin going through it, but that didn't make it through production. That's basically it. Him and Freddy do share the same body shell, but his isn't cut to have the body turn, of course. And for right now, I just have the puzzle box unplugged because I think it looks better in the lighting right now. It makes him look more ominous.
So we will go ahead and activate him.
Hey,
Nope.
welcome to the worst nightmare of all, reality.
The head mechanism on this is like really smooth.
Which do you prefer, pleasure or pain? Personally, I prefer pain. You opened the box, and your soul belongs to me. Oh, what wonders we have to show you. Dreams are fleeting. Only nightmares last forever. Welcome to hell. Your flesh is killing your spirit. You suffer beautifully. I am pain. Pain has a face, a Allow me to show it to you. Welcome to the worst nightmare of all, reality.
Yeah, he has quite a lot of phrases. And on the right side, you could probably notice there was a couple of pins missing. I still got to move the pins from the back of the head.
And overall, I mean, this is a really unique piece. I mean, I'm honestly surprised this was made by Gemmy or any company at all. But if any company, I mean, none other than Gemmy they did the best job, I guess you could say, out of any others with the collapsing. And, you know, it's just very collectible now.
There is another Pinhead figure that's out there. It's like a life-size, like kind of like a blow mold.
Yeah.
But it definitely doesn't have the same detail.
Yeah, it's just like a static type thing.
Yeah.
And this is definitely something I feel like we won't see ever again.
No, for sure.
Just because of, you know, it doesn't have a huge fan base. I mean,
yeah, it's
not
more
like
of a cult thing.
Yeah.
It was like really big in like the like 80s or late 80s, I think.
Yeah, it's nothing like you know, the Halloween movies or the Nightmare on Elm Street, and I feel like we would see like another Hannibal Lecter or something like that before we would see a Pinhead. So
Even Hannibal Lecter coming out now is like, I feel that'd be
yeah,
an arm and a leg to get a company to do that, and
Yep.
we'll probably just make another Michael Myers.
yep. That's probably what will happen. Even though how much I would really like to see, like, you know, another Pinhead or another Hannibal, I just don't see it happening. But yeah, this is a very unique piece and very, very cool. Is there anything else you want to mention about it?
No, that's about it.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and end the video here, and thanks for watching.